Hi, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining the Thomas Expert Series. If you have any questions as we go through the presentation, please put them in the chat. We'll have Q&A, live Q&A at the end of the presentations. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Sean Williams and Trevor Van Timmeren to present their presentation, Navigating Cannabis Supply Chain Challenges from Seed to Sale.
Perfect. Thank you, Beth. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us on this Friday afternoon. We know your time is valuable, and we will try to be respectful of that. I know the weekend is calling you because it's calling me. So just a quick intro on our team. I am Sean Williams. I'm the director of the cannabis program here at Thomas. And with me today, co-hosting is Trevor Van Timmerman. He's my business development specialist. And our newest addition to the team is Nick Estrada. So he's going to be our inside associate in the direct sales team for cannabis specifically. So we really appreciate your time. Trevor, if you want to go to the next slide. So who are we? Thomas has been serving the scientific community for over 120 years. So we've catered to many different market segments, including some mentioned here on this page. So biopharma, education, industrial, and of course, cannabis. So my team specifically is strictly cannabis. So that's, whether we are in the customer site, assisting them with identifying areas where we can help them with their workflow, or supporting our sales organization directly with their cannabis customers. We're hands-on in every aspect of that. And we do possess key knowledge of this market. So obviously, we can help make recommendations, including product knowledge, specific workflows. We're pretty knowledgeable within the entire workflow of cannabis. Next page. So Thomas is a full turnkey solution from seed to sale. So what does that mean for you? It means we understand the challenges that you're facing on a daily basis. We know that you have limited bandwidth at the bench. Your time is valuable. You definitely don't have as many people in your organizations compared to like a big biopharma company, right? So cutting multiple POs to multiple suppliers is time consuming, multiple vendors, and it's just time wasted when you could be focusing on your operation. So here are some of the capabilities that we can offer to support you in consolidating, and consolidation equals cost savings. It saves you time and it saves you money. So we can help you streamline your purchasing process. We can help you reduce purchasing errors when you're, obviously cutting POs to multiple vendors. That just, saves room for error, right? We can help you reduce your overall costs, increase your productivity, and obviously your efficiencies. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Trevor, who can discuss specifically within this space how we can support you.
Thanks, Sean. Hello, everyone. So from this slide here, really what I want you guys to take away from this is that we can support every market segment within the cannabis industry. So whether you're a standalone grow cultivation facility, a vertically integrated company that also includes processing and post-product formulation, maybe even do your own in-house testing. And then obviously we all know third-party external testing labs. We can support the entire gambit and the entire workflow within each. And so the first part we'll go over here is how do we support the cultivators? And so I would be the first one to tell you that this is our weakest portion within this market as far as a standalone segment. And what I mean by that is we're not going to carry nutrients. We're not going to carry propagation, irrigation controls. And so we're not going to be a full turnkey solution of going in and setting out an entire greenhouse from the ground up. But what we can provide here is most of the products that are almost often overlooked. And so if you walk into any cannabis grow, you see people garbed up from head to toe. You have bouffant caps, you have masks, you have beard covers, you have lab coats, coveralls, boot covers, shoe covers, and every other piece of safety equipment that goes along, like tacky mats and all that. We supply all that, and we're very good at supplying that stuff. And so we'd like to be thought of when it comes to that, and that we can supply you guys. When it comes to the equipment supply side, so while we don't have those larger pieces for the grow, we have been adding quite a bit of pieces over the last few years. And so some of those I want to name off, like the LED grow lights we do have through Black Dog LED, which has a very good name in the industry. They used to probably be considered like some of the higher quality, but also higher price. And they just launched their new PM4 models, which actually cut down the cost and still give you that high quality that you can trust from Black Dog LED. The drying shelves and trays, a lot of you probably heard of Intermetro. We carry those. Any form of CO2 or gas monitoring, we carry those. The remediation and disinfectant fogger segment is pretty amazing. We onboarded a new supplier called Arcus Manufacturing, which created a patent pending piece of technology that actually takes HOCl, which is hypochlorous acid. And if you're not familiar with that chemical, it's actually produced by your white blood cells and helps your immune system fight internal microbes and viruses that come inside your body. And so that same technology is putting HOCl into the atmosphere, which is safe for people, safe for plants. It falls on the surface and kills all pathogens, microbes that would affect not only the plant, but the people. So it's pretty amazing in the sense that you can stop things like botrytis, aspergillus, bud rot, those type of things, even before they start, because it will kill them on the plant, on the surface. It's also been known to kill influenza and COVID-19 virus, which obviously is creating a healthy work environment for your people as well. A few more pieces, the portable meters for soil. We have pH meters, we have water testing meters, we have all the meters and instrumentation you can think of there. Big RO water systems that a lot of growers use, we carry and can supply. And the other neat piece that I really like, seen a lot of these in the field, is the WayFast scales, which is a metric compliant scale system that allows you to upload your data as you're weighing and tagging plants. And so you don't have to cut down a lot of that manual labor. The next part is probably the most exciting for me, only because I think this is probably the one segment within cannabis that we've made the most strides as far as over the last few years. We've partnered with some really good key suppliers and manufacturers in this space. One thing, if you're familiar with Sean and I, one thing you probably know about us is that we're very picky. We don't want to just partner with anybody. So sometimes it takes us maybe even a little bit longer than it should, finding the right partners in this space. So especially on the extraction equipment side, we have brought in some really good key partners. You see a picture right here, it's Hasatron. And I'm going to go over this. So again, you see the recurring theme here, PPE. So PPE is used in every single segment within cannabis, probably the most in cultivation, but if it's used there, it's used in processing as well. We carry all you need. For the solvents that go into extraction, we carry ethanol. And if you're an ethanol processor right now, I will tell you that you want to get with us because we have some of the lowest prices on ethanol and 200 proof food grade and kosher certified ethanol on the market. We also carry IPA and pentane. And then we just brought on the hydrocarbons. So the butane, isobutane, propane, and all the mixes in between, we can now supply. The big one here is the equipment. And so the bread and butter for Thomas, because of the other markets we've served for the last 120 years, the small benchtop equipment is very easy for us. So anything you would think that goes into a lab space that sits on the floor or on the benchtop, we pretty much have. And so we've named a few there, and I don't want to read off the slide for you guys. You guys can do that. But any piece that you can think of, whether it's a freeze dryer, some type of pump, hot plate stirrers, sonic heaters, all those we carry. And so generally we carry probably 3 to 4, even maybe sometimes more suppliers and manufacturers within each product segment as well, which means that not only do you have high quality, you have multiple options at different price points and different availability. So depending on what key piece you're looking for, we can definitely fill that gap for you. The large scale extraction piece, this is where we've done a lot of work on the back end. We've partnered with 2 companies. One's Mock Technologies and the other is called Hasatron. Mock Technologies offers ethanol suites, so C1D2 booth build outs, the extraction machines themselves. They also just launched their new hydrocarbon line, and that is actually going pretty well. The solventless, which is picking up steam, and I think you're going to see an uptick in solventless manufacturing and extraction over the next few years as we start seeing more people want craft products. We partner with Hasatron, which if any of you are familiar with them, they build amazing extraction piece of equipment right out of Connecticut. So between Mock and Hasatron, they both build all their equipment. They all roll their own steel. They all weld, do their own welding, in-house monitoring, all that, all in the USA. The only product we do not carry in this line is CO2 extraction equipment. Obviously, the distillation, we have the multiple types through either across international. We do carry Cascade Sciences. Mock Technologies can build thin film and short path systems custom. So we also have the ability to build custom suites based on your need, your throughput, price points, all that. And some of the things I already touched on, the ovens, freeze dryers, those would fall under the small benchtop equipment. If you could think of it and you need it in your lab, we have it. On the cleaning supplies thing, kind of often overlooked piece, we do carry everything you possibly need to keep your lab sanitized, disinfected, and clean, including IPA wipes, all the fluids for ultrasonic cleaners, the ultrasonic cleaners themselves. We have unique mopping systems that you can use to mop walls, floors, depending on what how your lab is set up. And then also we offer pretty much any filtration product you can imagine. We offer it. We even do custom. We've had one client recently that switched over their filters for presses, and we were able to custom design their filter presses and saving them lots of money in the long run because they go through a lot of these filtration products. And then within that same processing space, I like to say that the product formulation is just kind of like the back half of processing. We do sell equipment. We're building out this portfolio as well still. We do have a line of filling machines and gummy making machines. Those are through ATG Pharma and Safety Co. And so the gummy portion of that is fairly new for us, but we have everything from small benchtop gummy machines that make maybe 5,000 gummies, all the way up to machines the size of a 20 feet long that, you know, I've seen them sitting in the hallways and going the length of the entire hallway that can produce, you know, millions of gummies. So we have everything in between there. For the filling machines from ATG, if you're not familiar with them, they make filling machines for pretty much any product type. So they do have cart machines, topicals such as lotions and balms. They have capsule machines and they have tincture machines. And you can kind of see the ATG robot here. That robot itself is pretty much the same for all those. So what's nice is if you build their larger package, you can actually just swap pieces out instead of having to buy a whole new system every time you go to a different product type. To go down that list, we have just, within the last few weeks, we've just broadened our portfolio with the food grade ingredients. So anything that you could think of that goes into gummies. So the cane sugar, tapioca syrup, glucose syrup, even cane sugar, MCT oil, citric acid, all those we have access to now. And when you're producing, you know, thousands to maybe millions of gummies, you go through a lot of these ingredients. So even when you're saving $1 on the front end on 1 pound, that adds up in the long run. The viscometers and scales, we sell every type of balance you could possibly imagine. We do have pre-roll machines and weigh modules through STM Canna. And so if you're not familiar with them, they have basically the full system set up to where you go from machine to machine, taking your pre-roll cartridge with you. And so you have the filler, you have the shaker, you have the roller, it weighs every single pre-roll to make sure everything's within standards, and you can just pop them out if it's not. They're very nice machines, good price point considering the other competition on the market. And then of course, can't forget all the packaging. So all your child-proof options, your pre-roll containers, plastic glass jars that you put lotions in, flour in, pouches, we carry all that as well. This is what I would probably call our bread and butter. Obviously, the analytical testing for cannabis specifically shares its roots with analytical testing across the spectrum. There's always been environmental testing, water testing labs. So as you can imagine, the products that go into the space are pretty much redundant and the same across the board with maybe a few variations. This is where we can really provide the end user just about 99 to 100% of everything they need within their lab. And that's from a full lab build out. They haven't even touched this new facility yet. They're just getting in there. We can help with bringing in the furniture and the build outs, the casework, chairs, all that. We even have access to instrumentation. So we are partners with Agilent and PerkinElmer. And so we have access to instrumentation there, HPLCs, LCMSs. And then so if you can imagine all the pieces that then go with that as far as accessories, we also have access to. And so you can see here from this list, again, another long list. But really the thing to take away from this is if you use it in a testing lab, we have it. And so, and generally we're very competitive in this space. And so to reiterate Sean's point earlier, the goal is consolidation because consolidation saves you money in the long run. And so if we can consolidate all of your spend or the majority of your spend into one place, that saves you a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of resources. And on top of that, you're already saving money by switching to Thomas. So leave that here. And I'll give this back to Sean and she'll talk about tissue culture.
All right, thanks, Trev. All right, so this is really an up and coming process in cannabis. Definitely been seeing more and more companies adding tissue culture labs to their facilities. And obviously we want you to know that we can support that. All right, so what is plant tissue culture? It's pretty common. It's basically taking cuttings of the mother plant and replicating the genetics. So you're basically, you know, cloning the mother plant. And why is this important to our cannabis customers? Well, obviously it gives the company the option to duplicate a certain strain of cannabis that offers great medical benefits that they know is working well for patients, is popular just among recreational users, and frankly, it's profitable, right? I mean, they can decide which plants sell the best, you know, make the most revenue. So all in all, it's definitely more prevalent now than it used to be, and definitely something we can support. I mean, just looking at this picture, you can see we pretty much offer probably 75 to 80% of everything that you see in, you know, pictured in this particular tissue culture lab. Next slide, Chuck.
Except for the plants.
Well, yeah, except for the plants. All right. So, what are some of the main challenges that you face? You know, what are the challenges that our customers are letting us know about, and what are our capabilities to solve those issues? So, a lot of it, in speaking with our customers, is just the lack of support, the refusal from certain suppliers to even work with cannabis companies because it's not legal yet. You know, logistical headaches with specific products that they need, sourcing from multiple suppliers. So you can see this is becoming redundant, right? These are challenges that all of our customers face, but specifically cannabis, I hear this all of the time. Sourcing, you know, from multiple suppliers, surfing the website, Amazon, and all these other, you know, Google, and trying to find products just because they don't have the support that a lot of these larger companies do have today. So they have the lack of resources. I mean, you know, you go into a cannabis lab, it might be 2 people at the bench, where if you're at a pharmaceutical lab, it's 20 people at the bench. So, I mean, it's definitely, they need assistance, they need support. So how can we help them? You know, it's streamlining their purchasing process, consolidating their spend, which is, you know, obviously saving them time and saving them money. Vendor managed inventory programs that we offer. We can avoid stockouts on their most important products so that there's no product shortages. Have availability on the items they use most when they need it. We have the growth incentive rebate programs. So, you know, the customers can earn a little bit of cash at the end of the year, you know, just for doing business with us as a thank you. Assistance with expansions and new lab startups. So this is a big one. You know, as the cannabis market is evolving, they definitely are building out. We have the capability to build out a whole new lab, and we want to make sure that, you know, they understand that we can offer furniture, we can offer equipment, assist with the full lab build out, you know, the clean benches, the cabinetry, the fume hoods. We have it. And then just having that knowledgeable sales team to support them, right? So it's not just the cannabis specialist that I'm referring to. We have CE, so critical environment. We have, you know, clinical specialists. There's a whole team of Thomas that can support pretty much any challenge that our customers face. So what are the other benefits from working with us? You know, we have a dedicated customer service team and 24/7 web support, which actually our web is being upgraded as we speak. So that will have a new look and feel in hopefully a few months. But also with the web platform, we have a chat function now, which I find is so helpful and convenient. And a lot of our customers that utilize it today praise that function. We have the B2B integration capabilities. So what does that mean? It means that our system can talk to your system. So if there's certain, you know, issues that you're having with cutting POs and things like that, give us a ring. Let me and Trevor help you. Let's figure out if our system has the capability to just for your system to send orders directly into ours. These are all things that we work on with our customers to try to make their lives a little easier. We have a large distribution footprint. So our main capability is to be able to service our customer within 2 days from any warehouse. So 2 to 3, but we're trying to get it to 2 days. We have the large, product portfolio. So over 1 million SKUs, a very vast supplier network, great partnerships, which means we can offer savings overall to our customers. And we're ISO 9001 certified, which is always a great quality assurance. And Trevor, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you very much. So essentially from this training, guys, there's a few key takeaways we want you to walk away with, and that's we specifically support cannabis as a company. We're behind it. Our C-suite team's behind it. Our board is behind it. The reps are behind it. We're engaged with it. We're not dabbling in this space like a few other distributors and suppliers. We are fully behind it. We want to help. Most of you that know me know that I came from cannabis previously, so I have a heart for cannabis specifically. And so I want to see this industry take off. I want to see the change removed, and I want to see the stigma go away. And so I like to think that we're adding value here and doing that, Sean and I and Thomas as a company. But essentially, from what we talked about here is that your time in these organizations is super valuable because you guys don't have the workforce that other more mature industries like pharma, biopharma have. They don't, like Sean said, sometimes you see 20 people on the bench at a pharma and we might see 2. And so it's hard for you guys to get away and actually make the changes you need or to look at anything else. A lot of times it's stuck in that same old pattern of we just got to do what we got to do. And so let us help you with that and take some of that off your plate. The industry, obviously, like I just said, is still in its infancy, in my opinion. So while there's been growers for a long time and uses of cannabis, the actual legal market is still in its infancy. And so you see a lot of catching up in certain areas where they'll pull some people that used to be in pharma. And so we're seeing purchasing patterns for some company develop quickly, and they kind of have those rhythms down already. But I would say probably 75 to 80% of the companies we work with don't yet. They're kind of all over the place. And so again, that's where Sean and I especially is. We don't want to sell you commodities. We want to sell you a solution. We want to be a solution provider, and one, quite frankly, that works best for you and provides the most value for you. And obviously, this sounds like a joke, but we are literally here to support you, and that's what our jobs are, and that's what we get paid to do, and that's what we want to do. And so you won't know if we can support you unless you give us a try and talk to us. So as far as resources here, you have your first line of defense is going to be your account manager. So if you don't have a good rapport or you don't have a good relationship with them yet, I recommend reaching out. The reps here are amazing. But Sean and I are both free to communicate as often as you want as well. So you can reach out directly to us. A lot of times we work accounts in tandem with account owners, and so you'll get to know all of us anyways. As Sean mentioned, we have a very large customer service that is a US-based customer service team that we continually keep putting resources and adding headcount to. We have specialty groups within customer service. And so if you're a larger organization that has multiple sites, we can get you onto our strategic customer service team, which is a much quicker turnaround time and really good customer service representatives there. And the last thing, this is just redundant, but you obviously have Sean and myself to support you, and you can come to us at any time. And so with that, we're going to go to the Q&A.
Okay, I'm going to take control here. Let me
Would you
share
like me to stop sharing,
screen.
Beth?
Yes, please. All right. While you're typing out your questions, please put them in the chat, and we're going to take a look at the environment. So here is the expert series. And while you're in here, you can check out Sean and Trevor's kiosk here. And then we have an upcoming talk on cell and gene therapy on March 22nd. Join us then. But you can see they're welcome.
Thank you for joining.
Where they're going to greet you. They're running currently a promo. You can take their survey and enter to win. Literature in the form of PDFs can be downloaded They can be printed and they can also be added to your virtual briefcase right here. And the briefcase is up top here where you can go back, web links, and videos. This talk and all our past talks will be available on demand. You can watch any of our previous talks. This one will be up within 24 hours. So stick around, check out the expert series, and join us on March 22nd for the next one. I'm going to take a look in the chat and see if there's some questions here. Okay, what's the process to start ordering from Thomas?
You want to take that, Trevor? Or you want me to take it?
I could take it and then you just back me up if I miss anything. So working with Thomas is actually fairly easy. So if you're not a customer currently, essentially you're just going to apply for an account, which you're going to get. We've actually been very good at setting up cannabis with net terms. So while Sean kind of mentioned earlier that a lot of cannabis companies struggle with getting terms from suppliers, sometimes they're overcharged, they have to pay a credit card every time. We do offer net 30 terms, and usually with a credit limit. So that's nice because if you're making big purchases, we don't have to sit there and wait for a credit card purchase each time. So we'll set you up with an account. You'll get a business account. From there, you have actually a lot of options. You can order directly through our customer service team. So you get quotes from either your account manager or Sean or I for products. We'll have that loaded to your online account. From there, you have the option to either send POs in directly to customer service with that pricing. You could theoretically send them into your sales rep or myself or Sean, or you can go onto your online account that we help you set up, and you can go in there and order it, and everything that we've quoted for you should be loaded there. So you actually will log in and never see list price again for those items. You'll only see your quoted cost. And that's how easy it is to work with Thomas.
Okay, working our way through, does Thomas offer ingredients for the formulation side?
So yes, we actually just onboarded a bunch of new sweeteners and glucose syrups. We have starches, so cornstarch, tapioca, different oils like MCT oil, hemp seed oil, citric acid, sodium citrate. So yeah, there's a bunch of different ingredients that we now offer.
Okay. In your opinion, what are the top 3 products that Thomas supplies to their customers? I'm assuming in the cannabis market.
That's a tough one. As far as individual products, if you want to go with product lines, we do really well with chemicals and solvents. With the processing side specifically, all the ethanol users, we have, like I said before, we have some of the best pricing on ethanol across the board. And so if you're familiar with that product line, you know that there's an excise tax involved with that, which can make purchasing that quite expensive. And so we have actually options for low tax rate ethanol that we have quite a bit of. And so that helps saving money right off the bat. Any chemicals and solvents that go into a testing lab, whether that's in-house or third party, all your HPLC, LCMS grade solvents, especially the main ones, your methanol, acetate, nitro, we're one of the most competitive on the market. We do really well there. And then I would say probably the third product type would be your plastics. So anything that's like your tubes, tips, we sell a plethora to not only the processing side, but definitely the analytical side.
And let's not forget, if you're using chemicals, you need PPE, right? So we have the full line, head to toe PPE. That's definitely very popular in the cannabis space, or any customer for that matter.
And we have a customer, just for some clarity, Thomas doesn't sell the actual plant. It sells everything to manufacture, correct?
That is correct.
That is true.
And test it. Correct.
And there's a question from DePonchu afterwards. It kind of falls in that same category. So anything that is an actual plant product or a derivative of, we obviously don't do that ourselves at Thomas. So we don't sell that stuff. We don't sell any isolated cannabinoids. We don't sell any terpenes. There's companies that we know we recommend, but we don't sell the actual individual products. I just for that.
Are there any other questions?
Just had a quick comment, Beth. I've worked with both Sean and Trevor, and they are excellent. Communication, right back at you when you send them an email, ask them the question. I've been in front of customers with Sean and Trevor, and they love them because the customers love them because they have information and they're not just trying to sell them something. And I think especially cannabis customers can recognize that pretty quickly when you're just trying to sell them something rather than providing knowledge and solutions. And that's what Trevor and Sean do. So thank you guys very much. And if you haven't worked with them, I would highly recommend reaching out and sharing some time. And they definitely will make a difference in your business.
Thank you, Mike. You're a pleasure to work with too. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
Who paid you to say that, Mike?
You got my address, so we'll be waiting. No, absolutely not. That's all absolutely true. Yeah.
Appreciate you, Mike.
Sure.
Well,
We do
that's a
have
good
more
note.
question from one of the regional sales reps. As a regional sales rep, what is the best way to partner with my Thomas Scientific rep that overlaps in my territory? Sean, you want to take that one?
Do I, Diane? I mean, obviously, this is a question for your regional manager, right? Because obviously there is some overlap when it comes to territories. However, Trevor and I will support everyone. So, I mean, if you reach out to me and him, we can help you with any cannabis accounts. Obviously, let you know if it's already in someone else's territory and how that all will work. But yeah, it's definitely a conversation we have to have.
Well, we've got some very nice comments in addition to Mike Stack's outstanding presentation, very informative. So I want to thank you both for your time today, and I hope to see everyone and pass the word about cell and gene therapy on March 22nd. Thank you.
Thank you
Thanks,
guys. Have a
everybody.
good weekend.